Excited for our next speaker here, Nick Anderson. He's a guy who I met a couple years ago, and his passion and love for the game of football, and his knowledge as well, and particularly for special teams this phase, is evident. I think it'll come through when you hear him speak. So I'm going to shut up and let Coach Anderson get to it. Go ahead, bro.
Man, that was quite the introduction, man. I appreciate you. Man, Coach Linson really kind of started this thing off the right way, and I've had the pleasure of sitting and listening to him. I want to say, Coach, it's about a year ago, and I've kind of used those tools he taught me with my limited knowledge as specialist, and I've been trying to use that everywhere I've been. But thank you so much for letting me kind of come on here, our coaching network, Coach McLaughlin, Pat. I've always enjoyed my opportunities to come and speak here, and just to kind of give a little bit about myself. Originally from Birmingham, Alabama. I've been coaching for about 10 years now, 5 on the high school level, 5 on the collegiate level. And in the high school level is in the states of Alabama and Arkansas, and primarily been a running backs coach and a special teams coordinator at Little Rock Christian in Arkansas. And on the collegiate level, been in the states of Alabama at Sanford University and Troy University, specifically as a special teams GA, Troy, and then transitioned to Bemidji State, Northern Minnesota this past season. I was the running backs coach, and then we shared our special teams responsibilities. I was over punt block, and just transitioned the past 2 months to Northeast Iowa in the core at Luther College. And now I'm the running backs coach and co-special teams coordinator, and excited to be here. So this is really what I'm going to be talking about. As you see here with my previous stint at Bemidji, I'm going to talk about our punt block unit. And honestly, as I'm kind of going through my career, I think punt will always be my love. I love punt, but this past year kind of really grew my love in punt block and what it can do. Really kind of going into it, obviously, if you have any questions, please share, and I'll answer away. But this is our motto. I think I look at punt block, I look at kickoff return as an extension. Really is our first play on offense, and most offenses nowadays are explosive offenses. So why can we not be explosive on punt block and kickoff return? And so that's why the motto is need juice to get loose, man. We got to have high energy to go get it and affect that punt unit. I'm a firm believer, and I'm kind of getting ahead of myself, but I'm a firm believer creating that special needs to be uncomfortable. I love working with specialists, but I know that if we're creating pressure early, all right, that's going to be in their head for the rest of the game. So I love to kind of get after that first punt, so they know every time they're coming out, hey, it's a strong chance they're coming after it. So that's our firm belief is like need juice to get loose, got to have high energy. And it goes back to who are we? All right, we will be the most aggressive unit on the field in our situation. And I think when it comes down to special teams, it's all about field position. And we want to put our offense in the best field position possible. That's what we're trying to do each and every time. All right, because obviously there's many diagrams across the internet. I mean, the better field position we have, the higher percentage chance we have to score. Okay, and that's what we're trying to do in our punt block unit. All right, what are our standards? Urgency. All right, high urgency, having juice. I'm a firm believer of affecting every punt. And that doesn't necessarily mean that we want to block it, but if we get a shank, or if his average is 45 and now he's punting it 37 to 38, I call that a win. I'm taking that because that's a chance for us to, put our offense in a better situation. Again, returners, we have to field every punt. And it goes back to what I'm talking about, field position. All right, if we're letting punts go out, now I understand there's some shanks. All right, we got to call a fire call and get away from it. However, if it's a catchable punt, we need to field that punt, all right, because this is going to affect us in our field position. Then lastly, just our Beavers first mentality. We don't want to hurt ourselves. We don't want to be selfish. I think a lot of guys, even though I love their effort, I think it's important for us to be smart in that as well. Understand that, hey, look, even though I'm trying to win my rep, I'm trying to win my one-on-one battle, I need to be smart and not affect this and affect our offense. Kind of going through the process, and really let me take a step back, and a lot of this whole presentation and what I did at this past season at Bemidji, man, is I know Garrett and I spoke a little bit, and Sean Centurnio, man, special teams coordinator at Army, does an excellent job, man. And I want to say he was on here probably about a year and a half ago, and just kind of got moved by that, and kind of a lot of influence in this, and definitely want to implement what he does. He does an excellent job. But our ABC process here is align, blast, and create. Okay, I think it's a very simple thing to acronym to learn, and I think it was correlated well with our players. All right, the first one we want to do is our alignment and our assignment. Okay, align correctly. Okay, and we'll get to that here in a little bit. All right, B, we want to blast off the line. Have a great get off at the point of attack. Okay, and then C, we want to go create a play. Right, if that's obviously blocking the punt, that's what we want. That's number uno. All right, but secondly, if we can affect it, all right, or for a returner, if we don't block it, all right, let's field the punt. Let's go get a first down. Okay, that is our ABC process. Let's align correctly. Let's get off the line and let's go create a play. All right, so ABC, where every time we have a chance to get on the field, that's our process, our ABC process. Okay, most importantly is going to our demeanor. Okay, this is a goofy photo of a speed skater, but he does a great job of what we're looking for in our demeanor. Okay, we want to have a speed stance. All right, we want to have credit card alignment where we're right up on the ball. Okay, and kind of everywhere I've been, it's always been inside foot up, but I've learned that I want to eliminate that false step. So I think having that dominant foot up, so you're able to really get off as soon as that ball is snapped, I think it really eliminates the false step there. So I told the players, hey, look, let's go dominant foot up instead of just an inside foot up. All right. Important to have that shoulders over knees over toes. All right. I want them to feel like we're coming after it every time. All right. With their eyes on the back stripe of the ball. Okay. So it's important. Once we see that back stripe of the ball go, we're getting off. All right. And this goes into our blast of the ABCs. All right. So we want to align correctly. We want to blast and then go create a play. Going into our returner manual. Okay. This is things that are rules for the guys I told every week. All right. One, we want to field the ball. Okay. We want to field the ball. Now, we had a young puppy who was starting, and obviously he's going to be special. He was really special in high school. And I think he's going to have a really good career as a returner. But it was one of those deals. He's a quiet kid, but you could tell he's comfortable back there, but he was a freshman. All right. And so he did a really good job when he had the opportunity to field the ball. All right. But his problem was he wasn't decisive. Okay. And then he's got to be loud. And there's a lot of times where he wouldn't make that fire call. All right. And where our players, his teammates, are trying to win their one-on-one battles, but the ball, they're going against Duluth. All right. He didn't make the fire call. All right. And so the ball hit one of our players. All right. They got the ball. So it's just one of those things that he's going to have to learn. And it's very important for our guys to be decisive and loud. All right. For us to make the right play. And then our third rule is obviously get a first down. I think that's, if we can get 10 yards, we're putting our offense in a great situation. So field the ball, be decisive, and go get a first down. Okay. When I speak of process, this is really just before the punt is off. I think as soon as it's important to know the average of the punter, know the location of those punts. All right. So if you can cheat left or right, I think that's important. But I think having hot feet is kind of like a center fielder. Every time that there's a pitch, they're getting their feet ready so they can change the direction wherever the ball may go. Okay. So I think it's important for a returner, all right, to have hot feet, all right, pre-punt. All right. Secondly, I think you need to square that ball up. Okay. Even if it's a punt way to the left or the right, it's important, hey, gain depth to square the ball up so we can catch it cleanly. And most importantly, I think the elbows need to be in. I think a lot of guys, especially when they're younger, all right, they're going to try to catch on the side, all right, or catch with their elbows out, which obviously that means the shank will probably, a muff will probably come. But it's important, all right, to keep, all right, those elbows in. Keep those elbows in. I'm now going to just touch on our base cover downs. All right, so really this is just based off just a 3x3 tight look, okay, 3-man shield. And really we're just working from left to right, all right, from our left side, and then our right to left for our right side, okay? So With our rushers, as you'll see, left rusher and the right rusher, they will always be in man on the line. Okay. So even if these ends or gunners will be split out, they will always be in man on the line. They will never split out. They'll never be inside in the interior, A or B gap. They will always be off the line. All right. Our L1s are essentially your corners. Okay. As I try to limit, really, I talk to our defensive coordinator sometimes. They look, if you want to keep your corners out there, let's do that, because I think that's the easiest transition. Our rushers, I really looked from a body type standpoint, longer bodies, receiver types, guys who were explosive off the line. That's what we started with. And I felt like we had some success with that. I tried to, as the season progressed, transition to having some longer bodies interior, because I feel like that's where we could attack the most. And that's where we probably had success in the latter half of the season. But our 2s and 3s, all right, obviously you're counting from your near sideline in. So our 2s were always going to be on number 2 here. So obviously we're counting 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. You do not count the shield or the snapper. Okay. So in our 4s, all right, are usually kind of our guys that, love contact. All right, guys who aren't afraid to go attack that shield. And then our Beaver is kind of our guy who's our quarterback of our pump block unit. All right, he's going to get everyone aligned correctly, echo the play calls, and make sure that we're ready to go for each rep. All right, so our base alignment, and I've kind of tinkered with this as well, used to be inside leverage, just because we're a middle return team. Okay. However, I felt like being head up, especially in our shock and stab technique, I feel like this puts us in a better situation when we're head up instead of inside leverage. But I'll get to that here in a little bit. Okay. So just off 3x3 tight look. Okay. Our rushers be outside edge. Our 2s and 3s head up on their man. Our 4s is probably he'll be off the ball. Okay. 3 to 4 yards. Okay. He could roam. And really, I wanted him to attack, all right, the kick side foot A gap. Okay. And then our Beaver. Okay. And obviously, wherever you are, it could, whatever you can name it, whatever, but I named it the Beaver because that we are the Beavers. All right. He's 8 yards off the ball. All right. And it's all contingent on if this snapper was a dud or he could actually was really good. If he was a dud, I told him, hey, let's release. All right. And you're going to pick up MDM. Okay. Or if I felt like the snapper is effective in coverage, all right, now he's picking up the snapper. All right. So now our rushers and our 4s are attacking the shield. Our next, again, very similar now, just our gunners are split out. Okay, so our 1s are out. Nothing changes here. Nothing changes here. Our rushers are still off the edge. 2s and 3s are still on their men. Head up. 4. Okay, now he's still 3 to 4 yards. Okay, off the line, kind of roaming. All right, attacking that kick side foot A gap. All right, and our Beaver, all contention on this snapper. If he needs the bail or pick up the snapper. Now, going to a 2-man shield look. Okay, again, 1s are still out. The gunners are out. Now we have an adjuster out. So that's gonna pull our 2 away. Okay. And all this tells us in the front, in the core, that we're all bumping down. All right. So now L1 still has the gunner, L2 has the adjuster, our rusher still in man on the line, but now our L3 is bumping over. Now, since our 4, all right, now we have a number 4 guy, which is the guard here. Okay. That 4 knows he has to bump over. The guard is his guy. Okay. He has to understand that. All right. Because we're still going to attack, all right, our shield with our rushers. All right. So we're still accounting for our shield. So we're good there. All right. Nothing else changes for our right side. He knows, hey, I got the gunner here near sideline. Our 2's got this tackle. Our 3's got the guard here. All right. Again, the Beaver, everything stays the same here. Hey, do I need to account for the snapper? Is he effective in coverage? He's my guy. If not, I'm getting out. All right. Picking up MDM. All right. Now, our hold up scheme. Now, obviously, I'm a firm believer on getting after the punt. I like to go block it, but I think it's still imperative to have some type of hold up scheme. We called ours outlaw. Okay. Called ours outlaw. And we'll get into the fundamentals here in a little bit. But essentially, all right, our rushers, okay, I like sometimes for them to chip those gunners, especially if it was 3x3 tight look like this. All right, then they're accounting, all right, for those left and right shields. Okay. Our 4 again is roaming. Okay, and then he's going to attack. All right, he's going to attack the kick side A gap. All right, then our beaver is bailing out. All right, and picking up MDM. Our 2s and 3s are shocking and stabbing at the point of attack. All right, they're going to stab that hip as we transition. All right, and then they're really just trying to read what their situation may be as we continue through our phases. All right, if they need a slingshot, they'll slingshot. All right, if they need to cut bait because they lost, they need to cut bait. All right, at the finish point, they'll lock out and box out. All right, just a quick clip here on Outlaw. This is actually duo. All right, but duo in our scheme really is just outlaw. We just have 2 returners. Okay. I'm going to really showcase these 2 guys here. And this is kind of where I'm getting at, where, you know, I like hold up schemes. I think it's important to have it, but I think it's more effective to be a block scheme type team, because I think not only will you have a chance to go block it, but I firmly believe that your better returns are when you're coming after. That's one thing I've learned. Now, with these 2 guys circled here, I think you'll see a good and a bad here. That's why I've circled them. All right. We show the bad here. All right. You'll see that he overextends. All right. And with that, he has 2 out of a base. All right. Now his head is over his toes. Eyes are down. All right. So it's very easy for his man, all right, to get around it. In this situation, he's got to roll. He's got to figure out, hey, I think he's still in phase. I think the direction of the punt kind of affects him as well. But it's one of those situations you got to let him know to cut bait, especially in this situation, cut bait and go find someone else. All right. Going to our next man here. I thought he did a really good job at the point of attack, shocking and stabbing his man. Keep him at the line of scrimmage. He lets him snag away, though. He gets caught up in some trash. All right. But then I think he's got to bust ass, man, to get back inside. All right. Again, I know the direction to punt affects him a little bit. But I thought he did a really good job here at the point of attack. Getting his hands inside. All right. Just got to win back to that inside leverage. All right. Now, got another one I touch on is I love the physicality here by my man Bart's number 30. All right. This snapper we saw throughout the previous weeks, he's actually one of their starting linebackers. So he absolutely is going to be effective in coverage. So we wanted to make sure we stayed on him. All right. I thought this was really good contact. Initially, loses a little bit. But he busts ass, gangs, and then right here, bop, finishes. Love his finish. Coming to the returner here. I really wish he would square his feet up. I like his hot feet. Love his track towards the ball. Just wish he gained a little bit more depth. All right. So he's able to square the ball up. I don't like that he's catching it on his side, but I love his aggressive getting upfield immediately. Okay. Now we got short field for our offense. We're inside the 50. All right. This one, and I want to say, Gary, me and you talked about this one a little bit. And this is called Scar. I called it Scarface. It's where we're going to double our gunners. Okay. But we're still kind of coming after. Okay. And I really want to, I'll explain it on the clip here. Okay. And so this past season, I saw really more pro style punt units, different variations than I ever had before. And this is where I feel like for a block, when you're coming after it, I think it's more effective, especially versus a pro style punt team. And in this situation, I felt like, hey, look, they got 8 guys here. I think we got a strong chance. All right. Now there's a loop scheme with this against the pro style, but I felt like, hey, we bring 6. I feel like we can block 8 with 6, especially in their protection scheme where they're gonna essentially vertical set. All right. So I was like, well, look, that means we have numbers. Okay. We're really 4 on 2 here. All right. So if we don't get there, we don't get there. But now we got a chance to set up our returner. Okay. Now this punter has a hell of a punt. All right. Throw this away. But as you'll see here, let me go back to the wide shot. I think it's a better look of what we're looking for in Scarface. All right. But you'll see the loop scheme here in the core. All right. Essentially, we're blocking 8 with 6. Okay. And we're also putting pressure on this punter. He's having to pretty much rush his whole process, which is what I want. Now, with that, he booms it. I'll give it to him. He won that rep right there. Okay. However, now I think we got a really good chance on the back end. We got 2 guys doubling the gunners here. All right. I tell those guys our 3s, hey, run to where he's going. Don't run to where he's at. All right. I thought 15 here. Juan did a really good job running where he's at. Bart's is a little low. I wish he get a little more depth. All right. But he kind of transitions. All right. This gunner's not really giving good effort. So we're going to win that. But again, the punter booms it. However, once he punts it, I mean, look at this. We got a chance, man. We got a chance. All right. Jake does a really good job getting vertical. Okay. Where in this situation, all right, could have been inside of 25. We get to the 35, which again increases that percentage for our offense. This is what we want to do. All right, this is just your straight up jailhouse. And honestly, I leaned on this a couple times. Just, hey, look, we just need to create a play. It's just, if we were down, or again, sometimes I would call jailhouse first rep of the game. Again, just to get in the psyche of that punter. All right, just to know, hey, look, we're coming after. Okay, and so literally we're just attacking each gaps. All right, the only people who aren't going is our ones to make sure that we cover our eligibles. Okay. So in jailhouse here against Duluth, all right, we knew they're a full zone team. All right, typically to the near boundary. All right, so we knew they were going to block out. He was going to block down. They point out their guys, right? So we knew, hey, look, these 3, all right, are going to be open. They're going to be available to attack the shield. And we always taught, like Bart's, who's a smart player, kind of know where you're at. Okay, know where to attack. If you know that you're the middle man, you got to attack that inside gap. And he does an excellent job here on this rep. Okay. So on our jailhouse, full go. Bart does a really good job of averting the eyes at 65. All right. With him attacking this gap, all right, Manueli does an excellent job of staying tight down this block path, and he has a long body type. With Bart's being able to attack that gap, it averts the eyes of 65, all right, puts him on an island, okay? And it's too late that he tries to get contact on Manuel, and he comes around, low hands at the block point, and blocks it. Now, I don't know why Barcy's jumping. He don't need to be jumping. But he does just enough to give us a chance. This was a critical play into the game. All right, gave a short field to go up to beat Duluth, which, fun fact, before this game, we haven't beat Duluth at Duluth since World War I. All right, so this was a big W for sure. And these are just a couple clips I want to show. Again, I learned, this is probably the number one thing I learned just going against pro-style punt teams. I just didn't see that much before I was at Bemidji. And the fact that, hey, look, we can coming after it, especially with them vertical setting. This is obviously a different variation of pro style punt. Them coming after it, or us coming after, excuse me. All right, I feel like it pays more dividends for us. All right, either we can block it, we can affect it, or we're going to give our returner a chance. So again, rushing the punter here, just really speeding up his process, which creates a short punt yet again. All right, I think Jake did a much better job than Mandel of squaring this ball up. All right, and then just getting vertical. All right, now we're in the plus 35 for our offense, just creating explosive plays. Again, kind of having a loop scheme with this pro style punt. Trying to attack the A gaps. Love to block it. But if not, Turner knows, hey, look, we got to go. Again, Augustana, really good football team. Okay, punter actually was pretty doggone good. All right, but I thought I would say I'll give him this. Actually, I would say he won this game. He did a really good job. But in this particular rep, man, we wanted to kind of create a play, and this is the end of the half, and give our offense a chance, see if we can get some more points on the board. Okay, but again, creating a loop scheme, all right, while we're trying to come after it. I wish our corners here, man, will engage a little bit. I noticed in the early in the season, all right, they just we would press, and then obviously they would just get beat off the point of attack. And then I talked to them, and where they felt more comfortable, they were like, hey, Coach, can I be at 7 yards? I was like, yeah, let's be at 7 yards. You feel like that's where you can win, let's go win. All right. I like for them to be a little more aggressive. All right, create some contact. Same time, let's be smart. Showing the tight shot here. As you'll see our guys coming after, just keeping them intact. I mean, there's no one, even probably about a half second to a second after the punt, man. They're still trying to block. And this punter's really good. Okay, I want to say his average was around 45. All right, so speeding up his process creates a shorter punt. And just really really good job here of kind of really was trying to put an island on 8, all right, with the loop scheme. Thought the snapper here, 30, is actually one of the starting linebackers, does a good job of picking up this loop scheme here, trying to create a 2-on-1 on 8. Now getting into the block fundamentals, all right, and I'm going to show just really block fundamentals and then our hold up fundamentals. And then there was really a drill that I incorporated throughout the season that I thought really gave us a chance to still get full speed reps without not utilizing our scout team, but 2, not eliminating a chance of injury. And with our block fundamentals, this is from Coach Antonio, is really the towel grab drill, okay, creating drill with our hands and eyes, create vertical drill, and then our create crossface drill. All right, so with the towel grab drill, this is all about, hey, we're trying to, 1, all right, have a great get off at the line of scrimmage. All right, but 2, we're trying to learn how to really get skinny, all right, dipping and ripping, all right, when our man is trying to block at us. Okay, that's what we're trying to get at here. So just kind of going through the drill, we want to have credit card alignment, right? I think it's important for our guys, one, to have great demeanor, but also teaching themselves to key on the back stripe of the ball. So obviously I don't think I try to want to replicate game-like situations as much as possible. So instead of having a coach or a GA or whoever, all right, snap and get, we had our snapper there, all right, kind of showing the snap. All right, kind of the team term was, hey, look, we want to grab grass. All right, so we want to blast off the line, going back, all right, to our ABC process. And then after we blast, all right, we want to go grab grass. Now, grab grass is we're picking up that towel, we're dipping and ripping that shoulder. All right, then we're going to finish for 5. Okay. Our next one, okay, is really just a create drill, okay, with our hands and eyes. And I thought this was very low impact type drill, okay, where you're going to have a partner, okay, and all you're going to do is once the ball comes up with your partner, all right, you're going to shoot your hands, all right, at the block point. I think a lot of times you miss opportunities, all right, because their hands, once they get to the block point, they're either going up or their hands are out. Okay, well, we're practicing when we get to the block point. All right, we're interlocking our hands, all right, and we're shooting our hands, all right, to the block point. Okay, so we're actually working both ways. All right, you work left and right. We're going to work one hand, all right, and we're going to work left hand as well. Okay. Now, we got the create vertical. Okay, this is really for when we're attacking through those A gaps. Okay, so what you're going to do is working now 5 yards apart, all right, with your partner, all right, and on coach's command, all right, you're coming off the line, you're going to work to the side with your inside hand. Okay, obviously, you cannot, if you're coming off the edge, you want to be 2 hands like I just spoke about with our create with our hands and eyes. However, when you're creating vertical and you're attacking those A gaps, all right, you're trying to create crossface, which we'll talk about here in a little bit. You can't do that. All right, that means we're going to run into the punter. All right, we're going to obviously not have the Beavers first mentality. Okay. However, this is why this drill is so critical to teach our players. Say, look, if you're in a create vertical situation, we want to really attack the side of that punter and shoot our hands left or right to the block point. All right, so that is a drill that we worked in this little circuit. And I'll show a clip up here in a little bit. Okay. Next is our create crossface drill. Obviously, this is a situation where, all right, you're coming off the edge. Okay. So really, you're just with your partner, and now your position probably a man or 2 man away. All right. And then you're coming at an angle. All right. So you're coming here and you're shooting your hands just like you did in the create hands and eyes drill. You're shooting your hands at the block point with 2 hands or 1 hand working both sides. All right, so as you'll see before we pause it, we had a position in 4 stations. All right, so we had about, I'm gonna say 5 minutes, okay, because then we had the ABC drill, which I'll show a diagram of. So essentially had about, I would say 7.5 minutes because we had 15 minutes total to get into special teams. All right, so I knew, hey, look, if we make this a 4-station group with our block fundamentals, all right, you'll get about a minute with each one, and our transition time was about, I would say, 20 seconds to get through. All right, that's 4 minutes. All right, and then we can get into our ABC drill, which is just putting everything together, okay, of our create with our hands and eyes, all right, create crossface, create vertical, then also our towel grab drill. All right, so that's what we did. We had a 4-station group, and then we went to our ABC drill right after that, which would add up to our 7.5 minutes. Now, you'll see here, all right, and I'll just kind of work my way around here. Here I am on the towel grab drill, teaching them about demeanor. We had our snapper, all right, we have great demeanor. We're keen on the back stripe of the ball, okay, and once he snaps it, we're grabbing that towel and then finishing for 5. Okay, so I thought really good job here. Again, dominant foot up. We want to eliminate that false step. Keep your eyes on that back stripe of the ball. When you see it, we're dipping and ripping, and then we're going to finish for 5 and grab the towel. All right, moving on to the next one here with Coach Hine. We had tennis balls instead. All right, he is at the create vertical drill. All right, on his command, they're coming out. still shooting your hand, all right, but we're shooting one hand to the side, all right, to the left or right of the punter, okay? Working our next drill over here, all right, with Coach Pike, all right, he's working our hands and eyes drill. Again, making sure that we're constantly shooting our hands, all right, not coming down on it, all right, not with our hands out. We're teaching, all right, each fundamental, hey, look, this is how we want to attack that block point, all right, get your hands down, knowing, having your eyes, all right, if you have a stripe, if we had a stripe on our helmets, we should be able to see that, hey, look, you're looking at that block point, all right? Then last right here with Coach Bolte, this is the correct crossface drill. All right, so you're 5 yards apart, attacking across, shooting your hands. This is a great rep. I mean, my man in the green, his hands are apart. His hands need to be interlocked. But I love this clip because it kind of showed you both. I think this is a great rep here. He has his hands down and attacking that block point. Now, the ABC drills. I have a clip of this, but we're going to talk through it. Okay, so the ABC drill, like I told you, is kind of putting everything together. Okay, it's putting our towel grab, which that's where it starts. Okay, then it goes to wherever you're at. It could be a create vertical situation, or it could be a create crossface situation. All right, we're going to have 2 scout guys. You can even self-scout it, and we had 3 pop-up dummies. All right, and we kind of went one at a time. I started inside and worked out. Okay, so a situation where, all right, if he went, he would dip and rip, all right, grab grass, all right, and then work through the pop-ups and then try to create vertically, okay? Then we would work to the B gap and out, all right, trying to figure out what their situation is, if they need to create crossface or not, all right? Now, if you're off the edge, all right, if he blocks down, we have to trim that fat, okay? All right, be tight off that block path, all right? And you got to understand that. So that was one of the deals we did with our ABC drill. Now, with that, there was sometimes, again, like I told you in the Luth clip, all right, learning where you're at while we're coming after, okay? If you know that you're inside, you know where you need to attack, okay? If you know you're off the edge, you know you need to be right off that shield's ass there, okay? So again, creating those reps to understand where we need to attack. Okay. Let's go to the next one. All right, now getting to the holdup. Okay, so we have our shock and stab. All right, we have our slingshot. All right, lockout, box out, and cut bait. I think there were some questions. Is there a question? Okay, I just want to make sure. All right, so now, again, working through our phases, all right, where shock and stab is in our start phase. All right, again, kind of going back and forth if you want to be mirror and shock or shock and stab. But like I told you, we want to be an aggressive unit. All right, so we want to shock our man, all right, at the point of attack. And when he decides to release, now we're going to stab that hip. All right, slingshot. All right, this is when you've lost. I mean, he has inside leverage. Okay, so what we want to do is once he gains inside leverage after shocking and stabbing, we want to slingshot our way, all right, back inside so that we can create some inside leverage because we're a middle return team. All right, we'll get into the details out here in a little bit. All right, a lockout box out is in our finish phase. Okay, understanding what phase we're in. Now I've learned that guys just like to do the box out drill, no matter what phase they're in. But still, we got to understand, hey, if we're in phase, we're going to lock out. All right. If we're out of phase, we're going to box out. All right. And we'll get to that here in a little bit. All right. And then cut bait is, hey, I got my ass beat. All right. But instead of trying to overwork myself to my guy, all right, and again, not having that Beavers first mentality and block him in the back, let's cut bait. Let's go find somebody else. Now, shock and stab. All right. Again, your partner could be a self scout or with the actual scout guy. All right. Again, we're still working on our demeanor here. Okay. Still having credit card alignment with our man in the ball. Okay. Now, on coach's command, all right, you're going to shock your man. All right. Really, we want our scout guys to release outside. All right. So we're going to shock our man, hands inside, feet hot. Okay. Thumbs up. And once he releases, now we're transitioning. We want to make sure that we continue to stab the hip to widen him. All right. Again, because we're a middle return team. Again, just like I told you earlier, slingshot. Okay. Now we're past the shock and stab phase. Now our scout guys in front of us with inside leverage. Okay. So now on coach's command, scout guy's going to run, probably half speed. All right. Just a couple yards up. And we're working to go grab our inside hand to his outside hip. All right. Getting our outside hand to his inside hip. We're going to slingshot our way. All right. Back inside. And then we're back to stabbing the hip. All right, next one is going to our finish phase, okay? So lockout is when you're in phase, all right? We start kind of in our speed stance, okay? When you're in phase, okay, you're gonna have, your man will be pretty much hip to hip with you, okay? You're gonna have a trash can here or a pop-up dummy, whatever you may be, that will simulate the returner, okay? Now, on the coach's command, okay, you will go, all right, and then now we'll wait for our scout guy to sink his hips, all right, and that's when our outside hand will lock, we'll turn around, all right, create hot feet, of course, all right, and try to get our hands back inside, but it's important, okay, in this situation to keep our feet hot even after contact, okay, because obviously the returner is going to make a move, and our defender, our scout guy, as always, he's going to redirect as well, so we need to have hot feet in that situation. Okay, next is box out. All right, box out is when we're out of phase. All right, so your scout guy honestly should be probably a step or two steps in front of you. All right, on coach's command. All right, you're running towards that dummy. All right, when your man sinks his hips. All right, we're gonna box out, scrape paint just like in basketball. Okay, want to make sure you sink your hips and really stay on your man. There's a drill coming up. I'm going to show you that sometimes they will box out, but then they will just run by him. Okay, sometimes that works, but in a situation where you just run by him, he still has a chance to go make a play. So I think it's important for us to kind of be strong there. All right, box out and keep our feet hot. All right, so he's not able to redirect and go make a play. Last, just like I told you, is our cut bait drill. All right, your scout guy's probably about 4 or 5 yards in front of you. All right, on coach's command, we're going to go. You're working to him. You see that you're beat. You're coming back, and you're just blocking the next man in front of you. So there's a clip of this. There's music to it. I apologize. So I'm just going to talk through it. Couldn't get the volume off of it. So as you'll see here, kind of the same situation as a block funding. Okay. So here we have lockout and box out here. Okay. Here we have shock and stab. We have cut bait here. Okay. And then slingshot is down this way. All right. So command here. So with the music, yeah, I'll just talk through it. So I do the shock and stab deal. They do a good job here. Again, you don't want to overextend here in the middle. I think 8 here. They're kind of big brothering each other right here, but I think this is a really good job of being aggressive in the middle at the point of attack. All right. Don't want to overextend that, right? But I think good job. He comes back, stabs the hip, and finishes the drill. I thought overall that was a good drill. So I apologize about the music. All right. But the next thing kind of brings everything from that hold up drill that we worked on there to this drill right here is the beaver drill. Okay. So the beaver drill and really lions and gazelles, I know called it other places, but essentially the beaver drill is, again, I told you this earlier, is I was trying to find a way for us to get some quality full speed reps that we're able to utilize those techniques. All right. But without having to use our scout team. All right. And also for our returner, really to get some type of game simulation reps during practice, because I think I personally think it's hard to simulate that. So I saw obviously that Lions Gazelle drill. I feel like, okay, I think we can utilize this, but it's also a cross trainer too. All right. So I think guys who are on punt can utilize this as well. So what we did, all right, was we have our punt guys. We have 4, all right, outside the hash, probably about +2 to +5. I thought if you were at the middle of the field, you were too far. All right, so right inside that middle of the field. And then obviously you had 2 to the boundary. I would say probably you were at the divider and then you were in the highway area, okay? We have our snapper right on the hash. Then we have our punter about 10 yards away so that we can simulate the timing of it. I told our punters, hey, give us a return, give us a punt, all right? Don't try to be a hero, okay? However, sometimes they were shanking, just they're kids. But I feel like some people get pissed off. I kind of loved it because I think it really gave us a game-like situation for our returners, like I told you, to be decisive, all right, and be loud and give that fire call. So there were some times where we had that situation. All right. Now, if we continue to shank them, then I'll get pissed off and then we'll get somebody to throw it. But I thought every once in a while, it was a great time to get that shank for our returners to get that rep in. All right. Then also, all right, we had a 10-minute period really during the season. And we did this for about, 5 minutes. All right. But it also gave our scout team, all right, a chance to kind of get ready, get set to go. Because once we did this for 5 minutes, we transition to work against formation alignments and then work our schemes what we're going to do for the week. So I thought really was a twofold when it came to this drill. Where are we at on time? We're good. Okay. So as you'll see, okay, awesome. This is the last clip right here. All right. So you'll see here, love this drill. Again, you see he's about 10 yards, the punter's about 10 yards away. All right. I don't like that Juan's mirroring shock in here. All right. That's why he loses at the point of attack here. Okay. Want you to be a little bit more aggressive. Love Max here. All right. Recreating the LOS. All right. But he's a little too aggressive, right? Kind of overextends. All right. And that's why he gets snagged away. Manueli, good job here. I'm okay with this. Just stay with your man. Now he's stabbing the hip. Now, as you'll see here, Juan, right? Like I told you earlier, just because he's mirroring shock and he loses at the point of attack. But I'll give him this, all right? He sees he's beat, so what does he do? He cuts back. All right, I love the Manueli's continuing to work, 88 right here. Stabbing the hip, trying to widen his man. Just a really good rep all around, okay? So that's really what I wanted to touch on. I think just the main thing is that I love being more aggressive with this unit because I think the main thing is we want to be an extension of our offense. We're the first play of offense, create an explosive play. So first and foremost, I just want to thank you again for this time. This is for our coaching network, Pat and Coach McAuliffe. So just thank you for this time. I appreciate it.